What's going on, everybody? It is your buddy, your old pal, the Santa Claus lookalike uh, country boy, guys. We are back today. Just a quick disclaimer, guys. Please, guys and gals, please only comment based on the content of this video. If you guys leave comments or if you're in the live chat, please only do so based on the content of this video. Also, guys, we're going to be putting out a video later on today wanting to address a video that I made 2 days ago concerning Black Lives Matter, the organization known as Black Lives Matter. I've been contacted by a couple friends of mine. They've asked to remain anonymous. However, they have brought some ideas and some thoughts and kind of educated me a little bit based on what has happened in their life. Okay, so we're going to be dealing with that later on today. But today, what we want to talk about, guys, is we want to talk about the 12th and the 14th Amendment in the Constitution. Well, you and I, as Americans, if you're an American, if you live in another country, maybe you might like the historical facts on how this works. If not, hopefully we'll be able to catch you at another time. But let's talk about the 12th and the 14th Amendment, guys. What's up, Clams? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. So, guys, as you guys are aware, if anybody is watching this is aware, whether you live here in the United States or not, you know that we just have a complete crap show, show, if you know what I'm saying, with what's going on with the elections. Now, for those of you that have been keeping up with the news, they have went ahead and started with the hand count in Georgia. There was some news that came out yesterday saying that a major Democratic county in Michigan they didn't certify their vote, and then an hour later they said they're going to certify their vote, miraculously. There's been a lot of evidence coming out based on the Dominion software and things like that. And guys, I am going to address all that. I wish I had my computer system up and running so I could actually show you guys excerpts and videos and news press releases and things like that on there. But, the whole thing and what I'm trying to do, and I've said this before, guys, is, I'm just trying to educate you guys a little bit and at the same time learn, which is why I really love the fact that after the controversial video concerning BLM, I did have a couple people reach out to me personally that I know personally that are African American. And they've, expressed to me their feelings based on my video. So we're definitely going to be doing a retraction video, not actually a retraction video, but a continuing education video on that. But once again, guys, let's talk about the 12th Amendment. All right, so the President of the United States, the current President of the United States, Donald Trump, is contesting, which is within his legal right, contesting the votes in certain swing states. Okay? Now, it is clearly defined that that if there is a 1% margin, that we can do that. Any president can do that, whether they're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Tea Party, anything like that. So it is constitutionally within their right and their legal rights to contest that because it is less than a 1% margin. Now we have accusations, and I'm going to say accusations because on one side of the aisle they're saying that they're unsubstantiated, and on the other side of the aisle they're saying here's the evidence. So we're just going to say accusations. Okay, you believe what you want to believe. You look at the articles. You look at what has come out so far with Dominion software, with the Tinnif or whatever his name is that actually works for the company, that the CEO of the company that owns Dominion Software, the fact that he's on Biden's transition team, isn't that kind of obvious? But once again, that's another video. But, here's the question I have. What if, let's play hypothetical playhouse today. What if January 20th comes, there's no clear, constitutionally, Donald Trump does not have to concede. That's just a polite thing that presidents have done. Nowhere in the law, nowhere in the Constitution does it say that a president or a losing party has to concede. That's just a gentlemanly thing that they have done for 100 years now. All right, so let's say that everything keeps going the way that it's going. Everything is contested. The Republicans are saying that there's voter fraud. The Democrats are saying there's not. It goes to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court throws out the election, or there is not enough states or not enough electoral votes for either party once it's certified. Now the media has already called this for Biden, but what you see on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, whoever you watch, really doesn't mean jack squat. Just because they say that Biden won, or just because they say that Trump won, or whatever, actually at the end of the day really doesn't mean anything until those states and those counties certify their vote. Okay? All they're using is a mathematical algorithm saying that this happened based on this and this and this. That's neither here nor there. So let's say, in our hypothetical playhouse today, there is not enough certified electoral votes to get one candidate over 270. Well, how did our forefathers figure this out? What was to happen if there is not a clear-cut winner after votes have been certified? So, guys, I've told you guys, you can call me a conservative, you can call yourself a liberal, you can call it anything, but at the end of the day, what really matters is what's in the Constitution. That's all that matters. And our forefathers figured this out. It's actually kind of uncanny sometimes, with how far ahead they thought. So let's look up, and we're using Wikipedia today. Let's look up the 12th Amendment. Okay? So the 12th Amendment says, and I'm going to paraphrase here, okay? Because I can just sit and read you what Wikipedia says, but I mean, you can read it too. But we're going to paraphrase here. So there's not enough electoral votes to get either candidate to 270. Okay? Certified votes. Okay? What happens? Well, what happens is, in the 12th Amendment, it clearly states that if there is a contested election, then the House of Representatives will pick who the president's going to be. Now, for those of you that don't, that maybe watch just a little bit of the news, but maybe you don't really understand how this works, as of right now, the Democrats have a majority in the House of Representatives. That's how they were able to so quickly go through the impeachment process and, quote-unquote, impeach President Trump. However, the Republicans have the majority in the Senate. Now, you're going to say to me, well, country, if the Democrats have the majority in the House of Representatives, well, doesn't that mean that they're going to vote for Biden? Because they sure as hell ain't going to vote for Trump. See, so our forefathers, once again, already knew that something like this was going to happen or could happen. So what they've done is they put a procedure in place, Article 2, Section 1 of the 12th Amendment. And the way that this works is like this. We currently have 50 states in the United States. 50 states. Now, some states have multiple House of Representative people, right? Like, for example, I believe North Carolina has 2. California, I think, has like 4. Different things like that. New York, different ones. Now, under Article 2, Section 1, it goes to the goes to the House. It doesn't play the same way as the way a normal House of Representatives. Each state only gets one vote. Each state only gets one vote. So, could it be a 25-25? Yes, and those are in play as well, and they've actually got a way to figure that out. But here's the thing. If you are a conservative, if you're pulling for President Trump, the Republicans actually hold the House of Representatives in 37 out of 50 states. 37 out of 50 states. So, if it was to come down to the House of Representatives, it is very possible that we already know that Mitt Romney is not going to vote for President Trump. Whatever. So, whatever. It is what it is. The thing about it is if you're a Trump supporter, if you're a constitutional conservative like myself, or I try to be best I can, the Republicans hold 37 states. 37 states in the House of Representatives. Each state only gets one vote. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have a Republican president serving his second term. Now, the question is this. Do you think that is what Trump and his legal team are shooting for? Do you think that they are trying to extend this out as far as they can so that it gets to that point? Because if nothing's resolved by January 20th, and you got to understand, guys, each state has to certify their votes by mid-December. So if nothing is certified, if there's not enough certified votes for an electoral college to be able to pay, if there's not enough certified electoral votes for either candidate to get over 270, don't listen to what CNN, MSNBC, Fox, any of them say, that who's got, Biden's got 302 and Trump's got 232. That don't mean jack squat, okay, until it's certified. So, it goes to the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives says each person gets one vote. The Republicans vote. We're going to take Mitt Romney out. 36 to, what was that, 24, right? 14, maybe. Yeah, 14. Yeah. Guess who's president, guys? The forefathers saw this. They saw that this would happen. Now, you're going to say, well, what if it's 25-25? Well, they also saw this as well. It would then go to the Senate. The Senate, who, as we already know, has a majority in the Senate. It's called a contingent election, which basically means it doesn't matter who I voted for, who you voted for, who they voted for. It matters on what the Senate or the House of Representatives, who they want to be president. Think about that for a second. Now, so that's a little bit of an education for you right there. That's the 12th Amendment, the Constitution. The last time that it was revised, we've only had to do this 4 times, okay? And I think, if I remember correctly, let me pull my phone up, it was like in 1820 was the last time that we had a contestant. Let's see here. The amendment was proposed by the Congress December 9th, 1803, and was ratified with a 3/4 vote in 1804. So it's been around for a while, okay? It's called a contingent election. Now, here's what I want to get, guys. So that's your education for today. But now, let's move to the conspiracy theory of the day. Let me ask you guys something. What if, after all the lawsuits, after all of everything that is going on, you find out that there is voter fraud, the Democrats did it purposely? Now, let's say they get away with it. Different scenarios here. Okay? Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that all the issues that are going on in places like Chicago, Seattle, and all these quote-unquote democratic cities, sanctuary cities, different things like that, do you think that you had these liberals, these people that doesn't want to work, they want to live off the government, they want to do all these other things? Not all liberals, but there's a lot of them, especially the millennial generation. But do you think they organized and did all this stuff by themselves? Or do you think that there's bigger powers that helped them along? There's been accusations that during all of the riots, especially in Seattle, that come nighttime, when everybody started getting kind of crazy, that miraculously there would be a whole pallet of bricks over here, just that wasn't there a couple hours ago. There was bricks over here, there was gasoline over here, there was all that kind of stuff. That's all stuff that's been thrown out. So let me ask you this. If it was true, with all these investigations that's going on, and they found out that the political party was behind all of the things that were going on, was causing an insurrection, key word there, insurrection, or a rebellion against the current government, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. If we can prove that the Democratic Party, not all of them, but the major ones, your Pelosi's, your Schiffs, your Nadlers, your Bidens, your Harrises, your things like that, if there is a way to prove, that's the key word. I don't want another Russia 2 hours and fucking $30 million in investigations to go on. Sorry, I got a phone call. To then find nothing, right? Without a doubt that they are insinuating violence, that they are against us, an insurrection against the current government. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? 14th Amendment, Section 3, clearly states that if someone have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof, may not hold an office in Congress, in the House, any elected office. Think about that. If we can prove that certain Democratic governors, senators, House of Representatives, Congress people, the made up, never been in the 200 years office of president-elect, never heard of that shit, tried to use the rebellions, start rebellions, interact with rebellions, insurrection against this current government. They are not allowed under the 14th Amendment, Section 3, to hold office. Living in a glass house sucks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm talking about when I say that you need to read your Constitution. You need to educate yourself. The 12th Amendment tells us what's going to happen and how it's going to happen if the election continues to be contested. The 12th Amendment tells us that it's all going to be ratified, maybe not by my vote or your vote or anything like that, but still by the people that we elect to be in those lower offices. So make sure that your congressperson or your senator is doing what they're supposed to do, because if not, they need to get out. Because you never know when another situation like this may happen again. You make sure that if you care about your family and your job and everything like that, I'm going to tell you guys, I didn't get into this until 4 years ago, and I'm sure as hell glad I did, because if I would have been as unknowledgeable as I am now, and I still got a lot to learn, I wouldn't know what to think right now with everything that's going on, with socialism ideas, with Medicare for all, with all the things that are going. And then to turn around and then find in the 14th Amendment that if people incite violence and they upraise against the government, they're not allowed to hold office. That's why you never had a President Robert E. Lee. That's maybe why you never had a president. My brain just went stupid. Robert Lee is the first person thought of. Right? That's why you never had that, because when they seceded from the Union, now like I said, this is 1800, but what I'm saying is this, listen, this I know, all right? When they seceded from the Union, they fought against the government. That disqualified them based on the insurrection and the rebellion that they caused or funded. That's why you never had a President Robert Lee. That's why you don't have these things, because it's put in place. Yes, the Insurrection Act. You're right, Clams. So like I said, guys, I got another video I got to do today to kind of educate you guys on the way I was educated with the BLM. But I wanted you to kind of think about the 12th and the 14th Amendment. So we're gonna find out, no matter what's going on, eventually in the next couple of weeks, by the first of the year, we're gonna know who's president. So we don't even have to worry about January 20th. And I say you don't have to worry about January 20th because it really just depends on when they vote. But with all the uproar and everything that's going on, we're going to know pretty quick. Okay? Once it goes past the deadline for all of these states and these counties to certify their votes, if everything keeps going the way that they're going, it's immediately going to go to the House of Representatives, and they're going to have what's called a contingent election. We're going to find out quickly. So, willpower, we already know. You know, I'm not trying to push my opinions on anyone. I'm here to try to educate and help, and at the same time learn. Okay? But guys, once again, read your Constitution. Study what these people are saying. Georgia elections. The Democrat in Georgia, I can't remember the gentleman's name. I apologize for that. You know, he has come out and said that if you're in the military, you can't. He said his quote was, if you are in the military, then you can't be a Christian. He's also publicly came out and sided with Fidel Castro and those idiocracies that come with Fidel Castro and communism and socialism and things. You know, he's come out and spoke about different of these things. That is fact. For fact checkers out there, that is fact. But yet, now we're having to have a runoff. I mean, who in their right freaking mind? We have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that run away from countries that have socialism and communism. I was watching the conservative twins or the Hodge twins, whatever you want to call them, earlier today, and they said socialism is an acronym for communism, and I can understand that. And like I said in an earlier post, you know, Bernie Sanders says, well, the reason why socialism's never worked is because they didn't do it right. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you wrote the book on it. But they've been doing that for hundreds of years, and it ain't worked right. But apparently, Bernie, you got it. All right. Let me ask you guys. You got all these immigrants that come to this country because we have, for hundreds of years, said that we're the best country in the world. They're here for freedom. Who in their right freaking mind is now going to turn around and vote for socialism? That's what they ran away from. As Americans, why did we defect from England, from Britain, whatever? If you're from other countries, why did you come to America? Why would you then turn around? And I don't care if you're Democrat or if you're Republican, don't matter to me. Why would you then turn around and vote for what you left, what you wanted to get away from? You came to this country to better yourself. You came to this country for the idea of what our forefathers put in place that we call a republic. Republic is an idea. Maybe one of the greatest ideas that has ever been thought about. Also, with watching the conservative twins and or the Hodge twins, what do you want to call them? One of the twins, I can't remember which one it was. You know, I mean, they're twins, kind of hard to tell them apart. But they said that Socrates said that you shouldn't be able to vote unless you were educated. You were educated about what you were voting for. Is that wrong or is that right? Now, they went on to make some other jokes and things like that. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to, I'm not going to plagiarize their video. But, the thing about it is this. Socrates says, if you're not educated, you shouldn't be able to vote. But he never puts a limit on how much education you have. But at least know what you're talking about. Have an open enough mind to be able to discuss things, learn, share ideas with people. Have an open mind about things, and then cast your vote. Stop all this party line bullshit. Red, blue, green, purple. You should vote, and I told you guys a story about this before. You should vote for whoever you want to. Whoever you feel is best. Right? Based on their actions, based on what they do. Actions speak louder than words. You guys know that. I know that. That's what they say. And I'm going to say this one time, and one time only. Because I try... yes, I'm pro-Trump, and I try to do conservative stuff, but I'm going to say it like this. Okay, and I know you've heard it. How is it possible that a man that has been a career politician, 47 years, now has all these great ideas on how to make America great or build back better. Why didn't they do any of that in 47 years? You were vice president for 8, just 4 years ago, and you didn't do jack. You didn't do anything for historical black colleges. The guy you worked for, President Obama, went around apologizing to everybody because America's America, right? You know, bad trade deals, different things like that. That's all I'm going to say about it. How is now your ideas better? It doesn't make any sense. Career politicians is why the damn government's so fucked up right now. Career politicians are the reason why they're wealthy and we're poor. You know, I mean, who in their right mind is going to vote for higher taxes and socialism? I don't know. You know, and, oh, and by the way, you know, since President Trump's a racist, since because I'm white, I'm a racist, because the Republican Party and all this systematic racism is going on. It wasn't Trump that gave the eulogy at the Grand Dragons of the KKK funeral. Think about that. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. Leave the comments, you know, about this video, what your thoughts are. If maybe there's something that you want me to talk about, please do. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Once we get the computer room back up and running, when we're moving, we're gonna have you know, a true podcast where you guys can call in with questions or discussions or things like that. You're gonna be able to call in or possibly even be on the show with an interview. So appreciate it, guys. If you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. I appreciate you. And until next time, let me get out of the sunlight. Peace.